Welcome to the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. My name is Rita Perez. Hello. I've been a travel advisor for over 10 years and am navigating this winding road of entrepreneurship with you. I created this podcast because I wanted to share all the things I've learned from leaders both in and out of our industry that I really wish I would have known way back then. But alas, the important thing is I'm aware of them now, and I want you to be too. Ready for this week's show? Let's jump in. Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. So nice to have you here with us. You may be hearing some noises in the background because we are actually aboard the beautiful AmaKristina today. We are sailing on the Rhone River, started in Avignon and on our way to Lyon, and just finished up a lunch. So if you can picture it, we are in the dining room. The servers are finishing up with dessert in some areas, and they're cleaning up some tables for the famous Chance de Rôtisseur dinner that happens at least once every AmaWaterways River sailing. So, I said we, and you might be thinking, well, who's that we? And I have the amazing Janet Bava, the Chief Marketing Officer of AmaWaterways, here with us today. Hello, Janet.
Welcome to everyone joining us here today. Thank you, Rita. This is now, your third AmaWaterways cruise in the last year?
Yeah.
Amazing. So happy to have you back on board.
It's so crazy to think, and I've mentioned this to a couple of the advisors, how my life has changed in 1 year. I would have never, if you were talking to me last year, and that I'd gone to Europe 3 times in 1 year, and then I went to Europe with AmaWaterways 3 times in 1 year. It's like my dream.
Yes,
it's like a dream come true.
We're so lucky, truly so lucky.
Yes, thank you so much.
And we're lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Doesn't it feel like if we've just arrived home, right?
Yeah, well, that's how I felt like the first night, and so many faces that remembered who I was. And it was just impressive, and I'm like, okay, I feel comfortable here.
Yes.
I had a pre-night in Avignon, and I could not wait to check out of my hotel to come back on board on the ship.
Yes, your standard, we've set the bar high. Your standards have now changed, so now you cannot just remain in any hotel. I think it's all of us, I think the same thing. Leading up to this cruise, I just could not wait to come on board and, just see the whole staff and crew that are just so wonderful.
Yes.
And just felt like coming back home and seeing our family members again.
Yes, so much so. It's just so warm and friendly. And that's what I love about being on here, is that it really is, like we were talking about the other day, come as you are. There's no pretentiousness that's going on in here, and everybody just treats you like you are family.
Yes. It is a beautiful, special, because I think everyone could have a nice and luxurious place to sleep.
Right.
But it's really, I think, the people and the crew and the service that you're provided, the level of service. And I know we have some great stories already. Day 4.
Yes.
Some amazing stories to tell about the level of service here on board.
Yep, and we are on another marketing immersion, fam. But this time, it is with host agency Nexion.
Yes, and Jackie Freeman herself is on board, which is so exciting to have her join us.
I know.
She had just gotten off the AmaViola on the Danube.
And
her ship. She is the godmother of the AmaViola, who sails the beautiful Danube River. Mm-hmm. And so she jumped off that ship, and she's now here on the Rhone River on the beautiful AmaKristina.
Yeah.
Her sister ship. We call them the sister ships.
They are sister ships, that's right. Yes. So you and Alana, what's Alana's official title with AmaWaterways?
She is our sales engagement specialist.
Okay.
So she is responsible for ensuring that our travel community, our travel partner community, has all the tools that they need. We have so many tools available for our travel partners, and so she's ensuring that they have the tools that they need to succeed and to grow their business. Mm-hmm. So she's working on a day-to-day with all of our business development managers. She's helping with the various groups that are being created. So she's really kind of what I like to call the jack of all trades. She's so knowledgeable about all of our policies. She's so knowledgeable about all of our promotions and all of the marketing tools as well that our marketing team creates for our trade partners.
Nice.
And so she's just ensuring, she's like connecting the dots, I would call it, right? So engaging, ensuring that they have, we have virtual cruise nights. Do we have the presentation for them? So really supporting in-house sales team, reservations team, and also supporting the travel agent community. Yes, she has a big role.
Yes, she does.
Yes. And she's really, honestly, we love having Alana. She's so young and she's so, she has that sparkle that Christine Karst, our, co-founder, talks about. And she's, as excited to be here, I think, as all the travel partners.
Yes.
And what a wonderful community of travel partners that
we
have on
goodness.
board.
Such an amazing community. And I mean, you come on board, you get that heartwarming feeling from the crew, but then this group, it's so nice to be sailing with so many different types of people again. And people who will also have your back.
Yes, absolutely. And I think we all have one common theme. We all came here with an open mind to learn from each other, absorb all the information. Of course, there's so much information. The world has changed. The world is evolving, continues to change. So we all just want to stay relevant and stay up to date. And how can we help each other? So it creates a network. We all, want to rise together. And we want to be able to, some of the challenges that, one person has, it could be also a challenge that another individual may have. So just learning from each other, how do we, overcome these challenges and turn them into opportunities for our business. So that's really, I think, the best part of being together 1 week on board the ship.
Right. Yeah, I've heard a lot of little backstories of I use this tech, but what about this tech going
exactly.
on?
And I want to, do I need to be on TikTok or should I just remain on Facebook?
Right.
And do I need to be doing paid social or, should I just stay with organic engagement tactics? And, how can I get better at my content creation? So it's really great because these are the types of questions that we all have. I know I have this when we're talking about, AmaWaterways and increasing our brand visibility. So it's a lot of the same questions. So we're all just, again, learning from each other.
Right. So you had some pre-meetings with the advisors on this sailing. What are some common questions that came up from those pre-meetings in terms of marketing or that you've seen as kind of the 4 days have passed on this cruise?
It's really interesting because we have so many advisors and they're all in different stages of their business. We have some who have been in the business 15, 20 years. We have some that started right before the pandemic. We have some that started their business during the pandemic. But the common theme that I'm getting across the board is that they're all focused on quality, not quantity. And what I mean by that is, I think the common theme is that we're all very busy and things are turning around. Things are really, the demand for traveling again is, increasing. The phone calls are coming in, the questions are coming in. So we're all very busy with our time. So we have to make the right decisions to choose our time wisely and the types of business and generate the level of leads, the right type of leads that we need to be able to, what I call, again, focus our time, our limited time and energy on things that are going to be the most profitable for our business. Right? That's the most important thing, that we sometimes want to help everyone, but we don't realize that sometimes helping everyone and not having a focused strategy is actually not the right approach, not to grow your business. So that's really the common theme. I think we're all looking to grow our database with the right clientele. So they're all here learning about the product. They all realize that, a lot of them have never done a river cruise, or a river cruise with AmaWaterways. Maybe they've done a river cruise with other brands. So they're all really learning to find out. They've all said, "I really want to work with Ama." We've heard, even through the most challenging times, how amazing everyone has been. I think people are defined by how they, react during challenging times, and we all know we don't have to talk about the last 2 years. But I think brands and suppliers have been defined in terms of how they have supported not only your clients, but the travel agent community. So everyone here wants to work with Ama, and they want to find the right clientele to sell them Ama, because they know that maybe with some other suppliers that are, the price points it may be easier to convert certain clients, but the amount of time being spent on those bookings, and when you take a look at your commission or the revenue being generated, it's not going to, over time, it's not really going to cover your expenses or your cost as a travel advisor and to support your business operations.
Yes, and I love that you mentioned that in terms of cost for the travel advisor viewpoint, because I'm also seeing that, where was it, if you are not accounting, especially with the dramatic increases in groceries and gasoline, if you're not doing anything to increase your expenses or to cover expenses by $5,200 this year alone, you are going to be behind.
Minimum 52, I would say, because really, we, as travel advisors and partners of ours, we also want to get out there. I mean, you do need to get in your car sometimes and go. I know many times your clients are maybe coming to visit you, or many of you are remote. But I think there's, networking. We're going to talk about networking very soon. But I think networking and getting out there into your community. People have been at home for a very long time, and they miss the social connection. They miss the one-to-one, conversations. And so, yes, you're going to have to get out there more. And I think we all saved a lot of money on gas the last 2 years. That was the positive side of things. But we all need to get in our cars and get out there more and, get connected with our local communities a little bit more at an in-person level. Right.
And I think that is the benefit of this type of event too. Yes. I know, and I was telling this story to a couple of the advisors last night, my biggest downfall is that I didn't start networking sooner, because I thought networking was this gross, sleazy thing. Like, here's this room key. Would you like? It's nice and navy blue and it's got gold writing. Do you want it? And now realizing how networking is much more about creating relationships.
Yes.
And for me, I want to be able to create relationships with other people. A little bit, or mostly because, I want my business to do well, but I also want to be able to help the other person flourish in their own business, whatever it is for.
Yeah, so we talked about a lot also before I know we went live. You talked about networking and how networking helps with your marketing engagement strategies, because what you do is you want to go out there and network, generate leads, and then nurture them through your marketing programs, your emails, your social media, but you need a way to feed your marketing programs, and the way you do that is through networking.
Right, and that's where I think one of the big disconnects is that we're so concerned and connected with, like, okay, this is the hot thing right now. No, this is the hot thing right now. And talk about social media, email marketing, doing the TikToks and the Reels, and they're all great. And I love doing all those, but for different, it's not that you're just doing them. There's a purpose behind doing them. So what is that purpose, and should you be doing them? Because I was talking to an advisor who she's like, and I need to set up my Instagram account, and I was like, but do you really need to set up your Instagram account?
Yes.
I don't think your clients are there.
Right. Not everyone has to do an Instagram account. You're absolutely correct. And we talk a lot about marketing mix. And I think every travel partner needs to define what their ideal marketing mix is going to be. And I think networking has to be part of everyone's marketing mix. Not necessarily Instagram. I think definitely networking. I think we underestimate the power of networking.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that you mentioned because I do a lot of networking too with Instagram. So it's how you use these tools to help them benefit yourself. So who are you following? Who are you engaging with? Are you having conversations in the direct messages, and not just direct messages like, hey, do you want to buy this cruise? Like, get to know the other person. I've made some really great friends. I know I was struggling about a week or so ago, and I was able, one of these people that I met through an online event, and we stayed connected with Instagram, and I was able just to vent frustrations with her, and I just really needed a pick-me-up moment. And there's not that many people who can understand, other than entrepreneurs, what we all go through.
Yes, and and even we have a product, it's called Celebration of Wine Cruises. And I know today at 5 o'clock, we'll be doing our journey of rosé with our wonderful cruise manager, who's going to be taking us through the Rhone River and rosé wines that's found in this region. But, we talk about the vineyards and the importance of understanding wine. So just following brands, if you're going to be on Instagram and not use that as for your business, you can at least learn so much about the brands that you want to align with.
Right.
Because a lot of times when you want to find the right clientele, they have certain interests that they have. So they may be wine aficionados. And so you want to know, where are they going? What are the local events? What are the brands that they're following?
Yes.
And what are those brands talking about? And then you can use that as a relevant conversation for your client that you're trying to book on one of our Celebration of Wine River cruises.
Right.
And so you're really also using marketing to learn and educate yourself yourself about the interests of your clients beyond just travel and vacation.
Right. And I think like foundationals, because I want to get into talking about networking, but I think you really need to know who it is you're targeting and why you're targeting them. Because I've had a couple conversations where I'm like, well, why would they want to work with you? And I get like the ghost face,
that's probably the hardest question that probably takes the longest to answer. Like, why would your client want to work with you?
Right.
So if you haven't answered that question yourself, I think you all have to take a moment after this podcast, and if you haven't written that down somewhere, you should, and ask, why does someone, why would a client want to work with you, and not do either the research on their own in Google or work with another travel advisor like yourself.
Right. And really pull into the pain points, because I've heard a lot of people talking about, oh, they're the empty nesters. They have enough money, they have enough time, but why do they want to go travel? Oh, because they want to see the world. But why? Like, really dig in deep. It's not these surface level items.
Yes, absolutely. There's what's their reason, what's their drive, what's because that's what's going to help you close the sale.
Right. And that's it's so. I was doing a lot of messaging help with fellow travel advisors last year, and getting a lot of, when I would like pry into these types of questions, no one's ever asked me that before, Rita. I've never really thought about that before.
Yes. Exactly. No, I think we all have to do our homework, and we all have to, if we don't know, why would somebody want to work with us? That's definitely, then you can't create your marketing campaign. Like, what's your messaging? What's going to be your reason for being?
Right. Yeah, because that's the demographics, I think, are less important now moving into the future than the psychographics of why people do certain things.
Their mindset.
Right.
What triggers and what's their passions and what would make them want to make a decision. An investment towards these experiences, because I think that's another trend that I'm seeing. Thank goodness. I think we're also moving, and this is more of a trend that I'm seeing, a macro trend, not just with the travel advisor community, but all human beings. We've all now are cherishing certain experiences and memories. So we're all trying to purchase less products. I think we've purchased a lot of products. Amazon has made a lot of money during this pandemic, and I think people now are shifting their spend towards experiences, reconnecting with their loved ones. Many families have not seen each other for quite some time, so now is the time to reconnect with your loved ones. I know, as a mother of children, I want to stop buying products and things for my children. I want to buy experiences, go on more family vacation, see the world with my children. That's what drives me. Educate my children, especially in the world that we're living in now. We want to make sure travel is a force of good. Travel connects, us to different cultures and different people. And that's the way, we could tell our children to be really great humans. We can teach our children to be really great humans, or we can show them the world and show them that although we may have different points of views with others, we need to respect each other. And so and there is a common thread with all the different cultures and people that we meet outside of our comfort zone, and that's really, we just all want to be respected as human beings. And so you see that when you travel the world.
Exactly. More empathy overall.
Absolutely.
So going into that connection, I'm like, that's a good segue to start talking about how do we make those connections. So where are you seeing that advisors are having success in doing networking within their local communities?
I think, there's a lot of hobbies that were probably picked up.
Right?
People are now cooking more. People are drinking more wine. They are gardening more. Gardening groups. They're, really, music, classical music, and and now the concerts and different venues are opening up. I think there's a lot of organizations that are doing a lot of really good in the world as well. So I think if you're a person that really feels that you've been, very successful in your life and you want to give a portion of that back into the community, I think there's a really great way for you to connect with your local communities through services and different organizations, nonprofit organizations that are, really giving back, whether that's to the local community or international communities. I know we all know there's a war going on, and so people want to help, and so I think connecting with those folks that want to help, other countries that are suffering right now, aside from ourselves, or even help their your local communities, that people that are, there's homelessness in local communities, people being displaced.
Right.
So I think really having a common thread, a common hobby that you are interested in, because also authenticity is so important, right? You don't want to just go to a gardening group if you have no interest in gardening. You don't want to go to a wine event if you have no interest in wine, because it's not. Then you're just there for the business, and you're not being, you're not going to be making authentic and true connections.
That I was going to say, you can't have a conversation about something that you don't know anything about and don't have any interest in.
And they'll see right through you. And so if you're there and there's not, if they know that you're not, you're just there for the business, you're just there to network, not necessarily because you have a passion for what the objective of that event is. So I always say, think about what your personal interests are. You'll probably create better connections that way with others. And that would help you be a better networker, because I think the other thing is, are you an introvert? Are you maybe not easily? So it'll be easier for you to come outside of your comfort zone if you truly have a passion for what that event that you're attending stands for.
No, and I consider myself an introvert, but now I'm kind of like, am I a little bit ambivert? I think the more that you do it, I know the more that you do it, because the more that I have been able to do it, the more comfortable that I get. And same thing, we've been talking about fees a little bit, but we don't have to get into that. But the more that I talk about that I have fees in my business, the easier that conversation becomes. So kind of segueing, but still similar, I think kind of like what you are doing is a really great case study, because you, in a sense, are networking with the travel advisor community here at different conferences. So I guess if we can go into your brain a little bit, how do you select events that you can meet travel partners at, so people can have maybe like a foundation for what they should be looking for?
So I talked about connecting with people through what you're passionate about. I am passionate about marketing. I studied marketing. I am passionate about travel. So if I can take the 20 years of knowledge that I have acquired of marketing within the travel industry and help someone grow their business, that's my personal fulfillment. So that's how I figure out what events and what am I going to be spending my time in. So obviously I have two key objectives. I want to be able to tell the world about the best kept secret in travel, and that's AmaWaterways, a river cruise experience with AmaWaterways. But I also have to help the travel agent community who sells us become our brand advocates, become knowledgeable about our products in a way that they could be the best marketers, because we all are great sellers. Some sell better than others, but I think there's a huge opportunity as well. Sometimes travel partners get so it was so focused on the product knowledge and the selling process, they forget the marketing. So for me, the way that I choose the opportunities is who has a vested interest in understanding that they need to grow their marketing expertise. So that's where I want to be, because that's what I feel that I can provide the most value in my marketing, giving them my marketing knowledge and talking to them about how they can grow their. So not only did I do one-on-ones for this one in particular, and this was actually something new and unique to Just Nection. This was something that Jackie and Heather and Rich were very keen on, was not only making the personal connections and teaching them about marketing, but understanding their individual businesses. So we have done not only one-on-ones, but we're creating a marketing plan from this. We've provided every single advisor who's here a marketing plan template. So by the time they're done with their 7-day journeys with us, they have a strategic plan, and then they're going to execute that strategic plan in the years to come. Because marketing strategy usually sticks around for about 1 to 5 years. Your business strategy, you want to grow your business in the next 1 to 5 years. That's really what we're trying to do here.
I love that you said that, because I'm a big proponent, supporter of the individual travel business, because if we're thinking too of the different products that we can sell, a destination wedding is very different than a school reunion. And you cannot sell them and market, you're not going to go to a bridal shower to sell a high school reunion group.
Correct.
So, and that's why you need to know the certain foundational things in order to see what kind of messages you're bringing to each one.
Exactly. And that's where, again, you need to find the places that you have a passion for. Things that really you feel you can bring value and also gain something from.
Hello, everyone. You are listening to Future Rita and Future Janet. Currently, we are in Mercury retrograde, and with all things Mercury retrograde, we lost the last part of our audio, and it was so good that I had to have Janet come back on because the $1,000,000 question that I asked Janet was about what is her favorite mode of marketing, because there's so many different modes of marketing that we've talked throughout this episode. We've talked about networking, email marketing, social media, but wanted to get into the head of the great Janet Bava about what her favorite mode of marketing is. So welcome back, Janet.
Yes, I'm so happy to be back. You know what? I am as excited as ever. I'm so excited that I just feel so now elated because we had an amazing cruise. And so just to be back and really give you all, I think probably my favorite piece of marketing advice that I can give you all, and my favorite type of marketing that I do and I always strive to achieve with my team is one-to-one marketing. And a lot of people ask me, what do you mean by one-to-one marketing? What is that? And I always tell them, like, it's all about understanding who you're talking to and personalizing the content to that one individual. So not trying to be everything to everyone, not trying to send everything to everyone, really understanding when you're putting together your marketing materials, look at who you're targeting, look who you're sending this out to, and be as personalized as you can, because although it may take a little bit more time, it's going to be way more effective when it comes to the execution and seeing the performance of these results. So I'll put it into plain kind of more of a practical example. You have an email database, right? You have clients of yours who have never, booked with you. They've never, you're still trying to nurture them. You're still trying to get to know them. Those emails that you send to them, even if you're promoting an AmaWaterways cruise, please at least personalize the intro paragraph of that email to resonate with them. If it's somebody that you have already done business with, instead of using, I would love to service you and be your travel agent and have you experience this beautiful river cruise through Europe. You may want to then edit that copy to say, I would love to welcome you back to Europe, or I would love to, cater you, service you once again and fulfill your vacation dreams. It is an honor to service your vacation needs, something that really resonates them. And I always say the intro paragraph is enough sometimes because I know that time is of essence, but really think through what you're doing and ensure that you're as personalized as can be with your content. For those of you who have your business page and on social media, and then you have different groups within your business page, you may have the same piece of content and you want to, again, one-to-one, make sure that you're providing relevant content to the different groups and understanding the sentiment in that group, what they look for, what triggers them, what interests them, and be as personalized as you can. Because at the end of the day, when you're having that one-to-one conversation over the phone, the clients want to know that you're listening to them. So when your marketing follows up after that touch point with a personalized conversation, with a personalized relevant, information based on that phone conversation, that's going to go a lot further for you. So yes, one-to-one marketing is my favorite. It's probably the most complex type of marketing, but at the end of the day, if you just get it, and are organized and methodical in your thinking about what you're going to do, and don't just check off the box this email that I have to send out. I think that's really the most effective. So, I'm excited because I know, Rita, for you particularly, I know you're doing a group soon. And so I think for you, I'm just going to be really interested to hear about what kind of one-to-one marketing will you be doing to promote that group.
Yes, no, and I think before we had just come on to, I feel like I've already started because I utilize the complimentary postcards on board to strategically send out to people who I was thinking about for this group. And there's been a lot of buzz that's been generating. And that's why I loved your answer of one-to-one, is because it just creates a stronger relationship. The people know who I am. I know who they am. There's a vested interest in it's that goes more deeper and more heavier, hardier than just a social media post or an email that gets sent out to your list.
Yeah, and I'm sure those personalized postcards those postcards that you send from on board were
Mhm.
personalized, right, to that
Yes.
individual. I cannot wait for you and your family to sail on board, or you and, and your husband to sail on, even things that small in the salutation or in the closing statement that you make. Or just recognizing, something about your past conversation you had with them, or celebrating your anniversary, which is coming up in October. We can sail together through the rivers of Europe. So really creating some kind of a personal touch on that postcard, that is one-to-one marketing. And
Yes.
so if for those of you who want to sail on board with AmaWaterways, we provide them actually complimentary for all of our guests. There's nothing better these days, I think, that receiving a postcard from abroad, especially from an international country. I think we would all get very excited. Your friends and family would get very excited, and your clients would get very excited if they received a postcard from you.
Oh, yes. And then so many social media posts that got made on my behalf because I sent those out. So
Nice.
increased exposure. And I was like,
Yes.
and a lot of people not even aware that you can take a river cruise to Europe. I just had a podcast episode where she was like, a river cruise like through Mississippi. And I was like,
Right.
oh, no, no, no.
Yes, and that's exactly right. When I first heard of river cruising, not long ago, I think it was only 7 or 8 years ago, was when the first thing that came to mind was a steamboat down the Mississippi River.
Right.
And I could not fathom, what it was, a luxurious boutique style, only 150 passengers sailing through the rivers and stopping at the heart of the destinations where civilization was built. Because I think that's one of the biggest differences in Europe. I think, we sail through these, towns, cities, some capitals, in fact, of where civilization was built, and, transportations of goods happen through these rivers. So it really feels like if the monuments that are along the rivers, like the one, that I have here, and I know we're not showing visual, but it just really feels like if the monuments are just have their doors open to you, and the towns are welcoming you to really have you explore their culinary cuisines, the historical museums and churches that are along these rivers. It's just a really beautiful sight, and each town is so different and unique. So as you go through from one town to another, and best part of all, you only have to unpack once. So it truly is an amazing experience. If you have not done a river cruise, I guarantee you're going to have an amazing time.
Yes, yes, no, and I love that you talk about kind of like the visual of where civilization started, because that's often like when I'm sailing on the ships, I will go back like, what did this look like the 200, 500 years ago when things are just being built up? That castle wasn't even there, and this is all greenery, and it's just really neat to think back on that and have a little bit of that downtime too when you're sailing down the river.
Yeah, all the great things our predecessors did for us to enjoy today.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much, Janet, for taking part in this episode. Where can advisors go to if they're needing support with their AmaWaterways sales and marketing?
Thank you for that, Rita. AmaWaterways.com is committed to the travel advisor community. You know that well. If you succeed, we succeed, and we don't succeed without you. So please visit us at AmaWaterways.com. On the upper right-hand corner, you'll see your travel advisor portal. You can register your agency, or if your agency is already registered with AmaWaterways, so that means that you have either an IATA number or a CLIA number, you can register as an agent to access all of the information that you need to be able to sell AmaWaterways. We also have an Ama Academy course that provides you with a gift certificate after completion when you make your first booking within 90 days of completing that course. So it's just money in your pocket. I think we could all use a gift certificate these days to fill up our gas tanks. So we urge you all to please just access. We have lots of sales and marketing materials, lots of content, a lot of product training. Our offers, our group programs are all in the travel advisor portal. So again, just visit amawaterways.com, and you'll see on the upper right-hand corner of the website, travel advisor portal, and just a few easy steps for you to register your agency or register yourself to access that portal. And you can even book online. So we make it very easy for you. Or you can contact our reservations department or your local BDM. We'll be happy, to really work with you and figure out how you can grow your business.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Janet, again for sharing all your wisdom. I love being, even though we're virtually, I love being in your presence anytime.
Listen, I can never say no to you, Rita. You know, you have a special place in my heart. And so thank you so much for always, being present and inviting me and thinking of me. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for listening, and you have an amazing week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining me on The Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. Please subscribe and leave the show a rating on your favorite podcast platform. Oh, and don't forget to take a look at the show notes for important information and links. See you next week.